Sr. and his wife Cecilia brought their family of 7 to the United States from Mexico in 1919, it was to escape the revolutionary forces that threatened their lives. They were sponsored in this new land by town merchant, cotton farmer, and cattleman E.O. Brown. Within a few years, the family became the chief masons of Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church, the town's first Catholic church on Brown Avenue, as well as for the twin towers of the Hokaki Inn, which are now part of the Phoenician Resort. For the past 50 years, the Corrals have operated Los Olivos Mexican Patio Restaurant. First known as a tavern and later as a restaurant, the Corrals also created and produced the Miracle of the Roses pageant, which was presented at Christmas time, bringing together Anglo and Mexican families of Scottsdale. One of the Corral sons, Jesus, also known as Jay, is the family historian and artist. In 1984, he published Caro Amigo, or Dear Friend, which tells the story of this family's remarkable immigration to Scottsdale and their efforts to make their adopted community a better place in which to live. On their first day in Scottsdale, the family's patriarch fashioned a fire pit on the ditch bank under olive trees, laid 2 iron bars over the top to hold the weight of a skillet, and cooked the family's first meal. Jesus remembered that his father was filled with emotion as he told his offspring how important that first meal was in this new and wonderful country. He was, at last, free of worries about the safety of his family. The newcomers, Emilio, Tula, Tomas, Manuel, Jesus, Alvaro, Claudio, and their parents helped Mr. Brown harvest his crops and irrigate his fields 6 months out of the year, and soon discovered they needed other means of income. Through their mother, Celia's insistence, the boys began looking for employment. As the family attempted to combat homesickness for their homeland, they would gather to dance on the dirt beneath the old olive trees that Winfield Scott had planted years earlier. They cooked tamales, enchiladas, and menudo, and soon found Anglos stopping by to enjoy the food. An idea was born. Not long after, a sun-baked adobe dwelling was constructed by Cecilia and the eldest son, Emilio, which remains to this day as part of the Los Olivos restaurant patio. In the years since 1927, the house has had many uses. It was first a pool hall, then a temporary chapel for the Catholic church services, a dance hall, a union meeting hall, a bakery, a corn grinding facility for making masa, and finally, a full-time restaurant. During the Great Depression, the price to play billiards was 5 cents a game. The parlor soon became the meeting place for the Hispanic community. Food and sodas were available on the patio, and Mexican bread and pastries were served fresh from a newly added oven. In 1933, the Corral family became involved in building Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church. Emilio and his brothers had worked for architect R.T. Evans, owner of the Hokaki Inn. The boys also were involved in building the Paradise Inn, the Wrigley Mansion, the Casablanca Inn, the McCormick Ranch House, Camelback Inn, and numerous fireplaces for many valley homes. Emilio and Dionisio Aldama, an uncle, were the head masons on the church building project. With the community helping, dirt for the bricks was dug from around the church property. Some of the helpers stomped on the mud and straw with their bare feet to process the material used in making 4,000 sun-dried adobe bricks. The last project the brothers helped with are the pink twin towers of the Hokaki Inn, which are a landmark on the Phoenician Resort property. During World War II, Al Corral was drafted and sent to the Boeing School of Aeronautics, where he became an airplane mechanic. He became a counselor for neighbors in helping settle disputes, but most of all, he encouraged his family and neighbors to keep their heritage alive through the music, crafts, fiestas, and religious pageants that he and other families had brought with them from Mexico. Perhaps his proudest accomplishment was going door to door to help raise funds to construct the Little Adobe OLPH Church. The patriarch died in 1947, a year before Los Olivos became a restaurant. The project that most of the family contributed to at one time or another in Tomas's memory was the Miracle of the Roses pageant that brought the legend of Our Lady of Guadalupe to Scottsdale. In the beginning, it was a family affair, with Tomas's grandchildren playing the parts of Our Lady, Father Kino, Juan Diego, and other personages. After the war, the brothers organized as the Corral Brothers Enterprises Incorporated, and Los Olivos received its official name. Emilio, Claudio, and Al turned the Los Olivos into a beer and wine tavern, while Jay created the decorative interior and exterior sculptures that are the restaurant's trademark even today. Claudio opened Corral's Real Mexican Food in 1951, Al and Helena took over Los Olivos in 1953, reopening the restaurant. In 1963, Jay and his wife Lois built Tia Elena in Tucson. Emilio and Manuel continued in construction work. Tomas Jr., the family musician, was killed in a car pedestrian accident in 1949. It's been 77 years since Tomas and Cecilia brought their children to the valley and prepared that first simple meal on the canal bank beneath the olive trees. Since that time, the family has become an important part of Scottsdale's growth and development. The ancestors of these pioneers can be proud of their heritage as the Corral family is added to Scottsdale's 1996 History Hall of Fame.